Donna Crane is a lecturer on political science at San Jose State University with experience as a legislative strategist and lobbyist in Congress.
She joins us now. Roe v. Wade is now dead on a federal level. What does this mean for individual states, including California and the women who live here?
Okay, so as you've already covered in the story, more than half of the states are poised to outlaw abortion immediately. The rest of the states will come under probably tremendous pressure to do the same, and those battles will be fought on a state-by-state basis. It is really important to say, though, that this is not a day when the issue, quote unquote, just returns to the states, because when we don't have the protection of Roe v. Wade anymore, there is nothing that stops the federal government from getting in on this act. What I mean by that is Congress could pass restrictions on abortion too. A presidential administration that's hostile to reproductive freedom could enact executive actions that restrict women's rights. And all of those apply to women in every corner of the country. So Californians, we tend to think of ourselves as sort of a blue oasis here whenever red action comes from Washington. But that is not, we will not be exempt if the federal government starts to enact restrictions. And in the years I worked in Washington, when the GOP was in charge of Congress, or the White House, there were actions and votes to restrict abortion access all the time. So no corner of this country is going to be left untouched by this decision today.
Okay, so Professor Crane, I know Governor Newsom and the state Senate have already been making moves since that draft was first leaked about making plans enshrining a right to abortion, plus the governors also proposed the reproduction health package. So things are already in the works, but just how quickly can state laws change?
Very quickly. There are a number of states across the country that have bans on abortion already on the books. They just haven't been enforceable because Roe v. Wade has been protecting women from being prosecuted. Some of those could go into effect immediately, perhaps over the weekend. I know there are friends in clinics who are trying to decide whether they should stop their services over the weekend. Some will take some small action by their state legislature to re-up, if you will, the bans that they already have on the books. And so this is going to be sort of a case-by-case basis across the country. But very soon, the states that have bans on the books are going to be outlawing abortion within days, weeks, if not days.
So, of course, people are wondering, they're asking, what is next? And you talked about that blue oasis. Do you think there will be a huge flight to blue states like California for women now?
Yes, absolutely. So women who can afford to, coming from anti-abortion states, are going to travel to the states that still allow safe abortion. Poor women will not be able to travel, and that's going to be a catastrophe for them. I think health centers in pro-choice states are going to be overwhelmed. I think illegal abortions are going to skyrocket. And it's important to say here that history tells us that when abortion is made illegal, it doesn't go away, it just becomes more dangerous. The numbers in many cases don't even change, it just becomes more dangerous for women.
All right, Professor Donna Crane, thank you so much for your take on all of this breaking news on this Friday. We appreciate it.